to do that they didn't do last season?
All right, thank you very much, and I really appreciate this opportunity to speak more on this topic. Now, every season, if you have taken note, this is like a ritual by the NPFL management. Before the season starts, they will come, they will say any club that is indebted to any of their former players, they won't be allowed to register players, new players for the season. And you see that when the season starts, these same clubs go ahead and register players and be participating in the league. And they have cases submitted to the NPFL that players are being owed. And these cases are pending with just like a court. They know that there's a case against this party, and this party is coming with a clean bill, and they are approving that these people are free to go and register. So that is the reason why I call them Toothless Bulldog. Because I must be honest, as an agent, I've been someone that have actually benefited from this kind of issue, in the sense that there was a time during the time of Shehu Diko. I think I had some of my clients as far back in 2019 or maybe 2016 or so. So my clients that were engaged by Sunshine, they were actually owed salaries, and the LMC, as a then held by Diko, passed a judgment just like this kind of memo was released. On of a truth, the players that were signed newly were not registered by the club. I think that was when Sunshine suffered one of the highest defeats in Lobby, also. I think 5-0, I can't remember the scores. But that law was actually upheld, and the players were paid their money before the club was allowed to do it. But I'm thinking maybe after that incident, there was a little bit of backslash on the management of the NPFL. And all subsequent complaints of indebtedness are swept under the carpet because of political affiliation and because of trying to curry favor from this NPFL club management. So why I mention that comment is that NPFL have been known, or you can just go to the history, you can just Google it. You see that every time before the league starts, they will do what? They will write this thing out that clubs that are indebted, they will not be allowed to play. But they don't do anything more than that. Now, why do I say so? I must commend Ogbemudia. His time, not Ogbemudia, sorry, I'm forgetting this. Honorable Irabo. Honorable Irabo.
Okay,
his time. Yes, Irabo.
Yeah,
when he was the CEO, there is something he did that wowed me. Because this club, you know what they do? They go as far as forging the signatures of players and submit documents to the LMC that these players, they have written that they are not being owed. So I think there was a time such a document got to the desk of this nobleman. And what he did, he was calling these players individually to confirm, is your club owing you or not? And unfortunately, some of these players, because I got to know, because a player was telling me that he does not know who was calling him, he has not spoken, somebody called him that. You can imagine, because of lack of enlightenment, our players do not even know who are the ends of affair of the management of the league.
It's a sad
Did I mention the name of the man? You said?
I say it's a sad situation.
Yes, they don't know who was at the end. He said does not know the man. The man was asking him, are they owing him salary? He said does not know who was calling him. He doesn't want to do anything so that they will not terminate his contract. And this young man that was being owed more than a year's salary claimed that he wasn't owed salaries. So in that instance now, for example, so that let's just cut the LMC some slack, or NPFL, whatever they call their name now, maybe they will make these calls to players. And this same player that have been, because of their job security, they will say, oh no, we are not being owed. That is another aspect entirely. But what I wanted to focus on, because I represent a lot of players that I have, as I speak to you now, if I'm not mistaken, I have up to about 12 cases before the NPFL. Most of them are at decision stage for over 6, 7, 8 years now. and they have not acted on them. They just ignore.
This is a very sad situation. It shows that there is no improvement in the way the league is run in this country.
And will I say we need to look for men that have the wherewithal to wield the hammer when they are in position. And that is why I'm saying thank God for the reshufflement in the management of the NPFL. Let's hope that even though Benga is at the helms of affairs, the other parties that were there now, let's say there will be some changes. I'm hoping. That is why I said I'm hopeful. Fingers are crossed. But anything that happens will be a miracle, because this series has been a continual ritual. Before the season starts, they will come around and say, oh, any club that is indebted to any player or their coach or their former or any club they done business with will not be allowed to register. Now, when the league starts, they will say, oh, it is government. Maybe government has not released money. That is why let's allow them to play. We don't do that. If our league have to play and we have to uphold the win, it is only 10 teams that are qualified to meet up with the conditions to participate in the league. Then let it be. I believe you are a journalist, and some of this information that NPFL passed, I said there's supposed to be a guarantee bond that will be submitted alongside the licensing documentation. It's a bond from their banker that will show to NPFL that if these people fail in meeting any of their financial obligations, need this bank to pay this money. I tell you, none of the NPFL clubs actually met that condition, and they allow them to participate in the league. So if you want to discuss this issue, there's a lot that need to be happening once to get to that procedure of achievement that we desire.
Thank you very much. I'd like to say a big thank you once again for speaking with us. But I have a whole lot of reservations regarding the Nigerian league. I must be sincere with you. There's been a whole lot of decries up and down to the league. One of them, I do not want to mention name of a club. We know how contracts are done in most of the clubs here in Nigeria. How can this story be changed? There are particular clubs that they terminate players' contract via WhatsApp. They terminate players' contract. In fact, players do not have contracts with them. How can this whole story be changed? Can there be a way the league management company can link punishment, maybe deduction of points or something, to a particular thing that will make them to be serious about players' welfare? Eyimba complained. Rangers complained last season. Bayelsa United are complaining that even Rivers United, some players say when they were with Sharks, when they were with Dolphins of Port Harcourt, they were being owed some money. Up till now, they are yet to be paid. And we still allow such clubs to own new players and continue.
Bro, it's painful, but for that, I will put the block at the hands of the NFF leadership. As you are aware, recently they set up the player status committee who are supposed to look at cases of unlawful termination of contracts. And this is just like a ritual too. Quote me anywhere. For over 10 years now, the committee have not really sat to take any decision that relates to the affairs of players. That is why the Bible expressly says that because sentence against an evil deed is not speedily executed, the heart of man is set to continually do evil. That is in the book of Ecclesiastes. Because this club know that there will be no sanction for their undoing, and they don't care. They can, the management, maybe the club GM can just wait up, because the player did not smile at him when he greeted him, he will tell the player he doesn't want to see him in the field anymore, and that is the end of that contract. No formal termination. The same contract that was celebrated all over the news. There were photographs to snap players being unveiled. You will see a club manager or GM will just wake up because a player refused to smile and he will terminate the contract, and that will be the end. And the player cannot take it anywhere. And the unfortunate thing is that the NFF does not care about the welfare of football players, because if they care, player status committee will be very active. Personally, I've represented a lot of players, especially when it relate to international cases. And I tell you, in less than 6 months, any player that his contract is unlawful terminated, or even a player that even terminated his contract because he's owed just 2 months salary, they get their compensation in full. When I mean in full, they pay it because they have already paid wages which is overdue payable, which is in clause 12 BIS of the FIFA statutes and regulation of transfer of players. The club that have breached that particular clause, they don't have anywhere to take that case to. Even though they take it to CAS, they don't have any win from that case. So you can see that there are machinery that have been set up to administer cases whereby there are international dimension. I've represented a lot of Nigerian players and even some foreign players before FIFA, and I've won cases of indebtedness. But I've told you, I've sent those of complaint to the NFF. They don't even acknowledge my mail, let alone even acting on it. So we can say, okay, to some extent, it's not only the IMC or the NPFL management or whatever name they call themselves. What is the NFF doing about this issue of unpaid wages? Then also we can say extend it to the players union. Do we really have a union that thinks about the affair of the players, or those jostling to be appointed into juicy committee in the NFF? Do they really care if these players are paid their wages? What are they championing? Have you seen them carry a placard to the NFF or to the sports ministry to insist for the working of maybe or setting up a national dispute resolution chamber, so that when there are cases of dispute in sports, there will be expedited judgment or whatever procedure that will be handled to sort out those tribunal cases? They don't care. Their own is to be in NFF or to be part of the team that will be traveling to get extra code for themselves and the rest. So as I told you, I'm hopeful that someday there will be a pharaoh that will recognize Joseph and see how he can turn things around for the better development of football in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eddie. You have shed a vast majority of light into some of the things that we look forward to. I would like to wrap up things this morning by saying that are we, media and the masses, not part of those that are not making this thing to be solved? Let me explain a little bit. What do I mean?
Okay, go ahead.
What do I mean? A good number of time at the moment, we the masses were agitating, we the media were agitating for the league to get started. They are delaying. The league has not started. And they are of the opinion to make sure that everything are in good shape for the league to get started. If peradventure a particular team is delaying in submitting the required document, can they continue, or won't we be the one that will be saying that why didn't they allow this team, why didn't they allow that team? Aren't we contributing to making sure that this evil act that we are complaining about is not being eradicated?
I agree with you. You know, the media is the first estate of the realm, and they're supposed to put as a watchdog to every form of irregularity in all sector of the society. But I tell you, to some extent, I'm sorry to say, some of their position seems to be compromised. Like this issue of indebtedness you are talking about, I remember a post sometime I responded to, and the response for one of the journalists, he said, is like, I don't understand the situation at hand. Am I not aware that there is election coming up, that almost all the governors will be focused on trying to win their states, all the funds will be channeled towards that region, that players' wages will be like secondary. I said, no, it's a contract. The thing is that when we have people that are the helms of affair and they have a desire to achieve a goal, they will have all the required resources within them. Not when you want to pay 1 month salary, you will be looking for the governor's signature. If a governor give you the mandate as the general manager of a club, you should insist that all things, all tools you require, payment of wages, bosses, or whatever you need to execute the whole season is made available to you. So that it wouldn't be, you would not say, government have not released money. So that's the aspect. We should not hold these people accountable. If you want to flaunt a club, then you should also be what? Be able to wage the responsibility that comes with it. It's not a charity organization. If you want to do it as a CSR, then release the funds that is required for it. Not you doing it as if you are helping people. Unfortunately, they do it as if they are helping. They are taking the youth out of the streets. That is what football. Let me say, even our professional football, the NPFL is assumed to be taking youth out of the street, not professional per se. That okay, this is what I do as a medical doctor. You can't say you are employing a medical doctor because you want to take him out of the streets. But they say they employ footballers because they want to do what? Take them out of the street. It's not unfortunate, but we have those in the media that are trying to curry favor from those in the club management and try to dissuade attention from this critical issue that needs attention and, in fact, attention and utmost resolution. But unfortunately, these are not what we are expecting from the media, what we are seeing from the media.
Thank you very much for speaking with us this morning. We can go on and talk and talk and talk on all of these things. One of the most important things that we clamor for is the change. And like we always say, the change does begin with every one of us. Thank you very much for speaking with us on the show this beautiful morning. And do have for yourself.
I appreciate it. Thank you.